Hey everybody, Nick here, and today I got a review for you of this little guy right here. This is the MachineEra Pens TEK. T-E-K. First off, though, in the name of full disclosure, I want to thank MachineEra for sending this guy along. That when they released this model, they reached out to me, said, "Hey Nick, you want to check out a deck?" I said, "Absolutely, yeah." MachineEra is a company actually I've been really appreciating lately because they've made some of my very favorite pens. This guy's been in my pocket. Well, this or the bronze version, been in my pocket more than anything else lately. So yeah, there's that. But anyways, I still told him, as always, I sent him my disclaimer. I told him to talk about the good, the great, the bad, the ugly. It might be a gem, might be junk. They sent it along. Nonetheless, we have to assume this is the very best quality controlled one of these guys ever. And I'm doing my very best to make sure that the fact this is a review sample doesn't affect the nature and quality of my review. So, there you go. Thanks, MachineEra. Next thing, size comparison. Here it is against. Actually, we'll start off with the MachineEra Classic, which is one of my very, very favorite pens. And note that this isn't terribly much bigger. This is a relatively small, compact pen. Here it is against a pen I lifted from a Hampton Inn. Sorry about that, Hampton Inn. Here it is with another Parker-compatible pen, the Parker Jada. Here it is with a Pilot G2 and a standard Bic Click Stick pen. So we can see here, size-wise, not a terribly large pen right here. But there you go. And then finally, actually, that's about it. So let's go ahead and jump into the good, the great, the bad, the ugly of this very interesting pen here. Some good side. Start off with, this guy is made in the US of A. According to their website, all their pens are made in the States. Even the clip is made in the States. And so that's a nice thing. I cheer for manufacturing in my home countries. I'm sure you do in yours. So there you go. Next thing, refill on this guy is absolutely good to go. Let me pull out a piece of paper here. And here we go. Writes beautifully. See here, I'll write right here. Writes beautifully. This is using an Itoya Aquarola. I can't even spell beautifully while I'm trying to write a review here. But it writes beautifully. It's using the Itoya Aquarola refill, but it actually works with any Parker-compatible refill, which is absolutely a beautiful thing. And so I appreciate that very much, because there is a big variety of Parker-style refills out there, so you can choose the one of your very choosing. You can also put a space pen in there if that's your particular... well, if you want to do that to yourself, feel free. So there you go. Next thing, weight-wise, this is actually quite nice in the hand. It's got a nice balance to it, a nice weight. Put this guy down. We are at 1.3 ounces on this guy, which is not trivial. I mean, it's certainly not the lightest pen that you could carry, but as a result, though, it feels really nice in the hand. It just kind of sticks there. It works well. I appreciate that very, very much, and it balances nicely. This is a nice pen to write with, 100%. Next thing, it looks nice. Look, this pen looks great. It's got a finish on there that is sort of, it almost looks painted, but it's not particularly. If you look in real close, it almost has the slightest bit of almost orange peel to it. But that's something I appreciate very much. And actually, one other thing I want to highlight here is this gription area here. This is not knurled. Do I have some knurling on the table here? I feel like I should, but somehow I don't. Either way, yeah, here we go, knurling. On this flashlight right here, we can see that this area has been kind of rolled up, whereas this is actually cut in. Like, the top part of these guys is the same diameter as the rest of the pen. And so as a result, you've got this texture here, which is actually very, very grippy, but it doesn't attack your fingers particularly. You can slide your fingers along there comfortably, but it provides a little bit of extra gription here that's actually quite nice. I'm a very, very big fan of this cutting-in texture here, and I think it looks really great, especially combined with that finish of the blade, or of the blade, sorry guys, I review a lot of knives, but the finish of the pen where it is uniform with that, it's just nice. It looks really good. Then finally, on the good side, although it'll actually show up on the bad side too for some folks, this is click-free. If I click this pen, you can see here that it just deploys. If you're waiting for a click, you're not going to get one. And that's actually a very nice thing. If you are, deploying your pen in a meeting, the worst thing you're going to hear is a little bit of... And that can be nice. I mean, especially compared to some of your... And that's not even the clickiest damn thing around. There are some clicky freaking pens out there in the world. This is very much non-clicky. And so if you are a stealthy, high-speed, low-drag, silent operator and you want to use a pen, this is definitely an approach for that. So, to me at least, all that's what's good here is that it's click-free, which is good for some folks. It's got a cut-in grip, which I think works really, really nicely. It looks pretty damn good with a very nice finish, good weight and balance. Good refill, and choice of good refills is a Parker compatible, and it is made in the States. On the great side, Here's the weird thing. This pen is made of one chunk. What I mean by that is that the entire barrel section of this guy is one continuous piece of metal. It's not the case that anything unscrews or uncaps or anything like that. There is not a cap here. There is not a seam here. It's not just that they've hidden that seam, which I thought initially, but no. This is one continuous chunk of metal from the very tip of this to the very edge here. The clip is separately mounted, although it's actually got a mounting pad that's been ground into that metal there, which is kind of cool looking. But anyways, pop that back on there. There we go. Beautiful. But this is one single piece of construction. And in fact, to take out the refill, you untwist this part in the back here, and then you've got this chunk left over, which is, again, just a single continuous piece of metal. And that's actually really cool. It lends the pen a feeling of solidity that is very, very high. This feels like a very solid object, and maybe even more so than a lot of pens. And so as a result, this is kind of a neat little machining trick, and I think it makes this pen a little bit more interesting than it might have been otherwise. And so to me, at least, that's what's great, and that's frankly what differentiates this guy from a lot of other things, is that single-piece construction. On the bad side, it is $75. Now, look, that's a fair amount of money for a pen. Same time, it's made in the States. It's made interestingly. They've clearly gone the extra mile in doing some of the machining. I can't get too bad out of shape, and certainly I've reviewed much more expensive pens. I mean, this guy here is by Tactile Turn, and we're running about $100, and this is a gem, so, you know, hey, why not, right? But it's definitely pricey, and so for a lot of people, especially for a pocket-style pen, if you're just looking for a pen that writes well, I mean, get yourself a Jota for $10, but still, yeah, so it's a little pricey. Next thing, this is click-free. Now, I just mentioned that that's a good thing, but one of the nice things about a pen click is that you get confirmation that the tip is out here. Every time I have used this pen, well, at least, no, not quite. I mean, these days I'm getting used to it, but there's definitely a feeling like, is this out? Did this deploy? Did this stick? Each time I feel like, wait a second, I'm not sure that this actually, this stuck, because I'm waiting for that click, because every other damn pen has the click, and this one doesn't. This is not really a problem. Thank you, Crows, for adding your opinion to this review. This is not really a problem, but nonetheless, it can be something that's a little bit annoying. If you are used to that click-a-dude, you're going to keep looking down, oh, I guess it is out there, weird, until you get used to that. Then finally, on the bad side, when you take off the clip, this guy becomes a roller. This guy rolls and rolls and rolls and rolls, and if your desk is at 100% level, this is not going to stay on it. That's not a beautiful thing, particularly. So, and we'll talk about why you might want to take off the clip a little bit later here, but that, to me, at least, is the bad, is that it rolls away without the clip. It is click-free. It's $75, but it is pretty well made, and it's made in the States, so I can't get too bad out of shape about that. On the ugly front, to me, this clip is pretty ugly. The reason I say that is not because it's necessarily a bad clip, although it definitely required me to take it off and rebend it a little bit to get the right amount of tension on there, but this is a pen that feels super, super solid. This is a pen that feels beautifully made, and this is a clip that feels really crappy. This is a super flimsy clip here. I mean, it doesn't really, it is spring steel, but it just doesn't work that well, and it feels like it's kind of stuck off the edge, and I just don't care for this clip at all. And it doesn't even match the finishing of the pen itself. It really genuinely feels like they created this beautiful machining masterpiece, and then they reached into a pots bin and just like, this fits, right? This doesn't feel like the clip that came with the pen, but it indeed is the clip that came with the pen. So I really wish that they had gone the extra mile. They've gone the extra mile in every other damn part of this pen. This pen, without this clip, is absolutely beautifully machined, and then they throw this on there, and it just takes the whole damn thing down a notch, right? It's like, imagine walking into this palatial mansion with absolutely stellar freaking design everywhere, and then you walk into the living room and it's just got a bunch of freaking plastic lawn chairs sitting in there as the furniture. That's about how I feel about this clip. This is a big old plastic lawn chair in the Louvre of this pen's machining. And so, to me at least, that's kind of ugly. This pen is absolutely great, and then there's this clip. So, to me, that's the ugly here, is the clip feels like it's from a different pen, and that other pen it's from is way, way, way cheaper. Final conclusion, look, this is a nice pen at a lot of levels here. It's American-made, great refill, great feel, great finishing, great grip, great mechanism, very unique construction. It is a little pricey. It's not clicky. And the biggest issue is that the clip feels like it was borrowed from something way less nice. And honestly, that's my only real beef here. And that says something. This is a great pen. It's just that they really got lazy on this clip. They really screwed that up. And look, I'm not, functionally speaking, does it keep the pen in your pocket? Yeah, there's a fair amount of the pen sticking up above it, whatever, not a huge deal. But it's just so, you're buying this pen for the high-end machining prowess of it. And then there's that. And I just don't get it. I mean, they've made a pen that feels like a $300 pen, and they put a clip on here that feels like they got it for free with a freaking candy bar or something. I'm not impressed with that so much. And considering there are only like 4 pieces in this thing, having one of them be so damn cheap is just not stellar. So I really hope they consider an upgrade there for the next run. I mean, thread the outside of it and put a clip that's, collar-based on there, or do something a little bit better, because right now, unfortunately, this is a pen that is just all beautifully dressed up and prepared, and then wearing clown shoes. So, to me, I'm a little torn on the final conclusion here. I absolutely love this pen, and then there's that, and, whatever. Ultimately, it's great in the hand. The refill is good. It writes well. If you're looking for something really solid, even with that little clip situation, and particularly if you plan on just taking that off, then this absolutely could be the right piece of tech. Tech for you. Anyways, there you go. Hope this has been interesting, and then I hope that there's a V2 of this guy that solves that little issue, and then in this case, that's going to be a really, really nice choice for a whole bunch of people. So, anyways, there you go. Hope this is interesting. Have yourselves an absolutely wonderful rest of your day. Bye now.